Hello and welcome to Connect MKE. I'm your host, Denise Calloway. Thanks for being with us. One of the biggest challenges for new businesses is finding help when they're just getting started. That's especially true in the food industry when a commercial kitchen is necessary for success. That's where the UpStart Kitchen in Milwaukee's Sherman Park neighborhood comes in. It gives food entrepreneurs the equipment, space, and support for success. Joining us is Dr. Glenn Mathews, Executive Director of Prison Economic Development Corp., which developed and is now operating the UpStart Kitchen. Welcome, Dr. Mathews. Thank you for being with us.
Well, good morning, and thank you for having me. It's a pleasure.
Why did Prism decide that it wanted to start UpStart Kitchen? What was the need?
Well, it birthed out of the need of a lot of the unrest that happened with the unrest in the Sherman Park area. So the whole concept of Prism developed from the unrest, along with Parkland Assembly Church. So Bishop Walter Harvey had a vision of just developing the entire neighborhood, and out of those visions was to help some of the entrepreneurs who really wanted to be caterers, the bakers, and wanted them to have a place. So the board decided to let's invest into this concept of a shared kitchen space. And it gave the entrepreneurs an opportunity to hone their craft and be able to work without all that overhead of an actual business of a brick and mortar facility that they would have themselves. So it's been very fruitful for them. It gets them to start and help them move forward. And I have a nice little process where hopefully we can get them from being a mom and pop startup all the way up into owning their own facility catering business.
So how does UpStart Kitchen work? Individuals are able to come in and use this commercial space? Do they have to set up certain times to come in? How does that work so as many people as possible can access the opportunity?
That's a very good question. UpStart Kitchen is a membership or program. So if you're an entrepreneur and you have your own business and you're catering, you will cater a baker, food truck. We have the space for them. So they will fill out an application and they'll go through a process to get approved with the city, get licensing. Now they're a member of UpStart Kitchen. Once they finish that process, they have access to scheduled time through a software that we have that they can develop. They can set their schedule and they go in and handle their business, do whatever they need to do. So it's again, shared space. What's available, they're able to go in there and do what they need to do to produce their product.
Is there a time frame involved, a maximum amount of time that individuals can be part of UpStart Kitchen, or is it really designed to let people get the skills that they need and the financial pieces together that they need, and they can stay as long as they need to?
At this point right now, they can stay as long as they need to. Through development and assessments and things that we're doing currently now, we're looking at revamping the entire process. It's very lucrative for those entrepreneurs. So again, our goal is to make sure that they're successful and they can stay as long as they want at this point. And again, our goal is to help them move towards getting their own facility and their own business. So
clearly, UpStart Kitchen has the commercial equipment that people need. Are there other opportunities, other things that UpStart Kitchen can offer individuals that can aid in their business success?
We are working on that as well. And providing, our goal is as UpStart Kitchen is not only to provide that space for them to cook and bake, we also want to give them the tools necessary to help them be successful. So we're going to run more workshops for them and seminars for them, and connect them to accountants, connect them to branding. That's one of the things that we're focusing and vamping up right now, ramping up right now, so we can move them towards being more successful, giving them the resources that they need. We're a vehicle for that, for to get them the access, resources, so they can be successful. Partnerships with banks, lending institutions, insurances, connecting with the state, connecting with the city, connecting with the county, and those licensing. We want to make that easier for them. They still have to go through it, but we want to make that access to get all of those certifications and everything. We want to make sure that they have those tools and provide some uh, resources for them financially as well. We can help them out.
It would seem from the way you're describing this, even just the process of getting what you need to get from the city to be able to move forward can be a little complex. So having someone guide you through it can make a big difference.
Yes, yes. And we have experts on hand to guide them through that process to make it a little easier for them. Now you still have to meet all the criteria and the requirements from the city and all the other licensing agencies that are out there. We try to help get that, make that easier for them, because we have that access and direct contact with those agencies.
You also mentioned the fact that you really help them in terms of some other efforts that people may not think about initially if they've got a great product and people say they like it and they want to make it. What kind of work do you help people do in terms of really kind of developing that business plan to really help them, not to say this is a great product, but this is how I'm going to make this successfully?
Oh, well, that's our actually work in process, and we're working with them. They know what they want, and sometimes what they really want and think they want, they may need some fine tuning. We do have consultants on hand that and experts in that field, and if we do not have it, we'll go find that expert. So we want to make sure that they hone in on their skill set, so they can be successful in moving forward, and then developing relationships and partnerships. Um, a good success story is several of them in the kitchen now. Different One's a baker, two does baking, another one does cooking, another one specializes in Caribbean foods. They all work together and hone their own crafts, and they talk and collaborate. And hey, someone contacted me to do this catering event. I cannot do it, but you can. Let's connect you. So I've witnessed that in my short time with the agency, that they do work together.
It's really about setting up that network of individuals, whether they're in the kitchen and when they eventually leave the kitchen and have their own establishments. It's about establishing that network of help and support.
Yes, definitely. And one of my goals is to continue that process, not only network amongst themselves, but connecting those dots with all the other agencies and everyone, who's talking to whom. And as a member of UpStart, you have access to that.
Can you give us an example? Tell us how many companies or how many entrepreneurs you're working with now. And can you give us some examples of some of the different types of entrepreneurs who are there, some of the different products that they produce?
Currently, we have 33. We just brought on board one person. We have 33 entrepreneurs who are members of UpStart Kitchen. However, we have a waiting list, honestly, of like 260 trying to get in. And there's a vetting process with that, and we hold monthly virtual kitchen tours. So they have an opportunity to get off of that based upon where they're at. So they give homework. We give them pretty much a homework assignment. And part of that also is, once they're part of the kitchen aspect, they now again have access to that software to schedule their time and move forward to that.
I run the risk of making people hungry early this morning, but can you tell us some of the different entrepreneurs that are there, some of the different products that they produce?
Sure. And I got to think now. We have 33 of them. Uh, there's several bakers, and I'll give them shout outs. So that's how I know them all. As there's pound for pound uh, cakes, and they're excellent as well. We have Delicious Bites, and she does a variety of different um, catering opportunities, but the food samples she has, and she's moving on to her own. That's one of the success stories. She's moving on to her own business that will be in on North Avenue. We have Baked Dreams, and Mrs. Russell. She's has her award-winning cheesecake that she does. We have a gentleman who's a food truck operator, and he does barbecue and has his own special barbecue sauce. So again, it's a variety of individuals. We also, one of the things that Prism, as the parent company, we contract out with other agencies to do catering sources. So we have contracts. One of our entrepreneurs who's new in TV catering, they've helped take on that major project. And so they're an upstart company, and they have hired, I want to say, close to 12 individuals. It's a brother, sister, husband, and wife company, and they're doing well with that. And we're here to help support them and help them grow. So as Prism, we contract out with other agencies too, and we hire or contract with our members to handle those contracts. So I think it's a win-win for everyone, and they're growing their business, and that's what we're here for.
You mentioned that there's this waiting list that's pretty phenomenal for people who want to be part of Upstart Kitchen. What is next for Upstart Kitchen, and is trying to meet that need part of your goal and plan?
For Upstart Kitchen's sake, we're looking at other locations where we can get some of those individuals off of that waiting list so they can go to other locations, shared kitchen space, and we'll manage that flow of that. So that's one of the bigger opportunities that's out there for Upstart Kitchen to get on the south side of Milwaukee, more on the north side, just giving those neighborhoods and those individuals to come out of their own personal kitchens and get licensed and start developing their business and their brand. So that's one of the things that I'm working on for Upstart Kitchen, in conjunction with working with some youth and getting them into the culinary business, and working with the Schuler Institute out of Atlanta. They'll be here, and we'll connect with it's called Milwaukee Brigade MKE, or Brigade Milwaukee. So we're working with the youth and connecting them with our members, the entrepreneurs there, saying, hey, we got these youth, give them a job.
Right.
They're learning that kitchen aspect. They're learning the whole flow. So we're gonna make these connections and help spur economic development within the Sherman Park area, but also with the Milwaukee community, greater Milwaukee.
Well, it certainly sounds like Upstart Kitchen not only has a very promising and successful present, but an exciting future. Thank you, Dr. Mathews.
Thank you all for having us too, Denise. Thank you.
Making connections is an important part of success for any business or for any individual. Coming up next, we'll learn about a program connecting people to encourage community and success.